Is all your slurry coming to this point here?
All the slurry comes down, so you've got some laterals coming across the shed and one long one coming down here that picks it up.
Yeah.
It all comes down to this point here. So this is just a separator chopper pump, I think, from store. Came from 3-core pumps, and they put the separator in as well.
Yeah. Are you happy with the whole process of separation?
Yeah, I like it actually.
Yeah.
I do like it because you're using less energy to pump slurry, and we looked at all sorts here, whether we put a tower in down the bottom, whatever, but we would have to pump whatever we do. We got to pump it.
Okay.
And we couldn't put a slurry lagoon in down there because the water table was too high, so we put a lagoon in up high. And we just pump it to it. And it's about 6,000 cubic metre lagoon.
Okay.
And it works.
What do you use that material for then?
That's actually the paper towels I got. Just end up in there, but they just rot down.
Yeah, but the material then after, do you spread that or?
Well, we're on our farm varies from chalk, which is basically flint up on top of the downs. We've got sand on either end and clay in the middle. So in the middle we can normally take the slurry out with an umbilical, so that's a separated slurry. And we're on the sandy ground we need more solid, so it works quite well. We take this out and spread it on the sandy ground. And it works well. You're putting humus back in where we need it.
So Robin, this is your lagoon. What size is it?
So it's 6,000 cubic metres. So it's about, I think it's 60 by 33 metres, something like that, and about 5.75 deep. It's double lined, so it's got a bentonite liner underneath, and then a 2mm HDP liner, and also it's got leak detection. So where we're stood now is an SP, if I got it around the right way, is an SP2 zone. Just beyond the other end is an SP1 zone. So I don't think we actually needed to, which is a source protection water zone. I don't think we needed to have the leak protection and double lining, but I'm doom and gloom, belt and braces. Let's put it in, and if there's a problem, we know. It's worked very well. So we empty this with an umbilical. We get a contractor come in. He'll be in soon. We've got about 90 acres up through here that he'll spread on here all the way up, and it just seems to work fairly well actually. So we get a bit of trouble with the crust blowing up to one end. So we're looking at putting leaker balls on at the minute to see if we can keep the emissions down, and it'll also pay for it because we'll keep the ammonia in, so we'll better utilise that more in the fields.
Okay, and so this the pipework over is how it's connected then to your back.
That's how it's connected. And there's an air gap to stop it going back down. So that pipe goes back down to the separator. I mean, we're learning all the time. When they put the pipe in, they put it running up the hill, so it lies with a bit of water in it. That all froze back before Christmas, so we had to wait for it to thaw out before we could use it again, which took a while because it catches the wind. So we've now put a drainage pipe and insulated it all the way around. So hopefully that'll be all right. I'm very very safety conscious. We used to. One part of the family used to make precast concrete. We had some slabs left over, some small ones, so we just turned one upside down and locked it in with some anchor bolts, so that if someone has to back in and stir it, they've got to run pretty hard to get over in the lagoon, because that would be a disaster.
So it's very well protected, the whole thing as well. You're well fenced and you have it locked as well.
Yeah, it's got that's the law. You've got to do it. You know, and it should last. It's made well. It's done with creosote posts. It should last for a long time. And I think it's from memory when we did it. It should be big enough for 300 cows for 5 months a year. So whether we'll ever get there, we'll see. But it was a logical place to put it. It's the tracks come up past it quite well, and it just seems to suit very well. So this used to be all arable. All of this was just one big arable field. Quite nice combining. But I don't think it's going to pay. Well, it might have paid last year. Corn price is dropping now. I think the milk's going to pay better, isn't it?
Okay. So in general, like the dairy business compared to your beef, it's just better cash flow?
It's better cash flow. We were used to, with the beef and the arable, we were used to having sort of stilted cash flow throughout the year. So we'd always get a bit tight sort of in the autumn because we hadn't sold much. The dairy, it's quite nice having a bit of money coming in. It's lovely actually. But it's you've still got to plan ahead. I mean, this year fertiliser prices going up and that sort of thing, and you get a load of fertiliser coming now, and it's what, £20,000, and it's different to what it was before, isn't it? You know, so it works quite well. I mean, it certainly makes running the business easier. If we have a tight spot, it's around sort of September time, I'd say, August, September, around September time, but then it soon catches up, and we're used to it anyway. We're used to juggling it, so that works quite well.